the Browns suck and the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl again. These two facts have been the staple of the NFL for the past 2 decades probably. But with Gronkowski gone and the Browns pretty much the favorites in the AFC North, is the Patriots dynasty officially over? Can we officially say, hey, Tom Brady, you're done, Patriots, you're done, and you will no longer win any Super Bowls? We'll discuss this in this video. So let's start off. I'd like to categorize Tom Brady's career into 4 different parts. The first part was the first 3 or 4 Super Bowls where Tom Brady was pretty much being led by the defense. And then when Tom Brady got Randy Moss, for another 10 years, didn't win any Super Bowls, but there were heavy loaded talent on the offense, and Tom Brady was a force to be reckoned with on the offense. He was setting records, he was throwing multiple dozen touchdowns a season, and he was playing really great. The third part, I would say, is the past 3 or 4 years where they got back to their winning ways, mainly riding on Tom Brady's arm and greatness, lifting the defense and being able to overcome those obstacles. You had teams like the Seattle Seahawks, the Atlanta Falcons, and even the Denver Broncos that Tom Brady had to manually beat with his arm. The defense wasn't doing much for him, especially seen in that Eagles-Patriots game in 2018. Now, I think he's entering the 4th and final part of his career. When is he going to be gone? So, Tom Brady, he turns 42 this offseason, and many wonder when he's going to call it quits. He's vocally said he wants to play until 45, but is this even possible? No one could even imagine that Tom Brady would play until 45. Many people are calling that he retire after the 2009 season when he suffered his ACL. Many people thought that was the end of his career. 6th round draft pick. It was good while it lasted. He had a couple of successful Super Bowl seasons, and it was time to move on. Especially since Matt Castle went 11-5, there was hope that Bill Belichick wasn't that Browns coach anymore. He wasn't the coach that kind of underperformed, and he didn't have his team play as well as they should. He was an actual coach. And there was also a time 2 years ago when he had a succession plan. He had Jimmy Garoppolo and he was ready to get rid of Tom Brady, but he didn't. But why? Bill Belichick always had a history of getting rid of players by buying low and selling high. He would take players who he thought he can mold into the Patriot way or have a Patriot mind and have them be successful and eventually get rid of them when they were either no value or when he can get value for them, because he thought he can flip them for a couple draft picks or something else. And teams notoriously have even avoided Patriot trades. Remember the Giants this offseason when Odell was vocally chased by the Patriots? The Giants looked the other way. They're like, hey, if the Patriots want this guy, they'll probably see something in this guy that we don't. So they kept him, and then the Giants ended up trading him. Why hadn't Tom Brady and Gronkowski faced a similar fate? They kind of had their own way. I think this is because Bill Belichick was pressured by Robert Kraft and not to get rid of these guys. Tom Brady and Robert Kraft have been the staples of this franchise for the last 20 years, and getting rid of your quarterback wasn't a great idea. But this has happened before. Greats like Joe Montana, greats like Peyton Manning have been ousted for the next guy that was going to come up. But Tom Brady is different. Tom Brady is known as a leader of men, and he doesn't have to play great, and he doesn't have to be great to win Super Bowls. And I don't think Bill Belichick regretted his decision, as they've won 3 out of the past 5 Super Bowls. Rob Gronkowski was on the brink of being traded by Bill Belichick last year when Tom Brady said, no, I want to keep him. The same thing happened with Tom Brady and Jimmy Garoppolo. Tom Brady said, I'm not going anywhere, and Robert Kraft said yes. This is different. I think things have been changing for the New England franchise. Take this. They've never done much with, they haven't done much with draft talent. And now this year, they have 12 picks. When was the last time they had a really good pick or a really good draft? I'll wait. They usually find good picks if they're lucky in like the 6th or 7th round. With all this draft capital, they might as well spend it on free agents. But they haven't. They haven't gotten anybody in. In fact, they lost their best offensive lineman. They lost their tight end. And they lost a lot of key defensive pieces that they won their Super Bowl with, and they didn't even have a great defense to begin with. 12 draft picks, you'd think you would be able to flip some for some actual talent and solidified talent in the league. Ndamukong Suh, Ansah, that could really help this defense, but the Patriots have said no. Why is this? I think they're going through a complete transformation of their strategy. They've never had so much youth talent. They have never had so much disparity between youth and old. And I think this team is changing for the future. You look at it, and with those 12 draft picks and the 4 that haven't played last year, they have a lot of youth. Are they looking to get rid of Tom Brady? Who's going to replace him? I don't really know. But if I had to guess, their eyes aren't on the 2020 draft. They know they're not going to be picking up that high. So they're constantly looking at players that could fit the Patriot way. I think Josh Rosen is on their bullseye target. Bill Belichick has never really been good scouting wide receiver talent. He's never been good at scanning a lot of talent, actually. But this has never been with youth. It's always been with, a guy from the undrafted, or a guy in shambles, or a guy that they trade for value. It's never been through the first overall pick in the draft, because they never had that. But this year they do. This year is different. They haven't tried to solve their problems a little bit through free agency. They've gotten rid of a lot of players, which they usually do, but they haven't replaced them with anybody. I think they're banking on this year's draft, like I've said, and I think that the Patriots see that they're going to have to get rid of Tom Brady in the next couple years. Do I think that they're not going to win the division this year? No. You still have teams like the Jets, Miami, and the Bills, who I don't think are ready quite yet. I think the Patriots should still be the favorites to win the division. And especially with the Chiefs not being as good as they were last season, and the Colts still not being up to par with what they're going to be, I think the Patriots still think they have a shot at winning the Super Bowl this year. I think to win the Super Bowl this year, Tom Brady will retire, and especially if they get Josh Rosen, they'll be set up for the future. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think this is the last year for Tom Brady? I think if they win the Super Bowl this year, this could very well be the end for Tom Brady. He hasn't really played that well this season, too. If you look at him and Eli's stats, they're pretty much comparable, besides the win total, obviously. Tom Brady wants to be known as a great. You see him talking to Patrick Mahomes and a bunch of players after the games that he's been playing, so they remember him. They remember his legacy, and they remember how he's a family man. Now he's taking more time in the offseason. He's taking more time to spend with his family. I think gradually he's going to lean towards retirement, and if they win this year, like I've been saying, I think he's done. You have people like Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman. They're not getting any younger, and you have this new wave of players with 12 draft picks this season to rebuild for the future. If they were trying to win for the next 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years with Tom Brady, they would be doing something different. They would be bringing in talent, but they're not. They're waiting for the future, and they're seeing, hey, Tom Brady is old now, and let's see what he's got. And if he wins us another Super Bowl, great, but we're moving on.
One thing I learned, however, is that it's wrong to predict their demise. You don't know when they're going to fall. I could be completely wrong. There are people on TV that have been predicting the fall of the Patriots for years and years, so we don't know when it's going to come. And it's actually going to be quite interesting.
Things have been changing in the New England franchise, and I think it's for the better, and I think it's good for the future. I'm really curious to see who succeeds Tom Brady. That would be really interesting. You had greats like Peyton Manning and Joe Montana that were ousted, and people forgot about them pretty quickly because you had people like Steve Young and Andrew Luck who came in to replace them right away. Will this happen and multiple Super Bowls occur? Or is it going to be years and years, kind of like what happened with Dan Marino before the team wins another Super Bowl? Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.